Hi, welcome to our channel Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The Path of Devotion, Understanding the Power of Bhakti. As Arjuna continues to wrestle with his internal conflict and struggles to understand his duty and his place in the universe, Krishna's teachings shift towards the path of Bhakti, the path of devotion. Bhakti Yoga is the practice of surrendering one's will to the divine, cultivating love and devotion, and seeing the divine presence in all aspects of life. Krishna emphasizes that devotion to the divine is the highest form of spiritual practice because it transcends the mind's limitations, the ego's desires, and the distractions of the material world. Through unwavering devotion, one can attain liberation and unite with the eternal truth. In this section, Krishna reveals the transformative power of bhakti, showing Arjuna that love for the divine is not only the quickest path to spiritual awakening, but also the most fulfilling and liberating. The divine in all forms, seeing the one in many. Krishna begins by addressing the nature of divinity, explaining that the divine is both transcendent and immanent. While the ultimate reality is beyond human comprehension, the divine pervades every part of creation. The universe, the elements, the animals, and humans, all are expressions of the divine, and one can connect with the divine through devotion to all forms of life. Krishna tells Arjuna, "I am the source of all creation, the eternal seed in all things. I am present in every form, and I pervade the entire universe." This statement is profound because it challenges the dualistic way of thinking that separates the divine from the world. Krishna teaches that the divine is not distant, but rather intimately involved in every aspect of life. In every living being, there's a spark of divinity, and through devotion, one can connect to this sacred essence. Arjuna must now learn to see Krishna not just as a charioteer or a guide, but as the supreme being, the ultimate source of all creation. This shift in perception is crucial for Arjuna's spiritual growth, as it allows him to transcend his personal struggles and see his actions as part of a divine plan. Every action, no matter how mundane or difficult, becomes an offering to the divine. The power of surrender, giving one's heart to the divine. In this section, Krishna delves into the idea of surrendering to the divine. To surrender is not to give up or to abandon oneself, but to offer one's ego, desires, and attachments to the divine, fully trusting in its wisdom and guidance. Krishna tells Arjuna that those who surrender to the divine with love and devotion are protected, guided, and ultimately liberated. Krishna says, "Whosoever surrenders to me with full devotion, I will protect them from all dangers and guide them on the path of righteousness. Their suffering will end, and they will find peace." This teaching of surrender is vital. Arjuna is not being asked to renounce his identity or his duties, but to dedicate all his actions and thoughts to the divine. By surrendering his ego, Arjuna can find the inner peace that comes from knowing that he is part of something far greater than his own fears and desires. Through this surrender, Arjuna gains strength, clarity, and wisdom to perform his duty without attachment or anxiety. A real-life example of this kind of surrender can be seen in the life of a devoted servant of humanity, like Mother Teresa. She dedicated her entire life to serving the poor and the sick, not out of obligation or for personal gain, but as a pure offering to the divine. Her actions were driven by love, and through her surrender to a higher purpose, she was able to transform countless lives. Her peace and joy were not dependent on worldly success, but on her unwavering devotion to a divine calling. Devotion as the supreme path, the power of love and faith. Krishna goes on to explain that of all the paths to spiritual liberation, whether through knowledge, jnana yoga, selfless action, karma yoga, or meditation, dhyana yoga, the path of devotion, bhakti yoga, is the most direct and effective. Devotion involves cultivating love and faith in the divine and dedicating oneself to that love without any expectation of reward. Krishna says, "Those who worship me with pure devotion, with love and faith, are the most beloved of all. They need not perform elaborate rituals or practices. Simply surrendering to me with love is enough." This teaching highlights the simplicity and accessibility of the path of devotion. Devotion is not about complex rituals, intellectual knowledge, or external achievements. It is about an inner connection with the divine, based on love, trust, and surrender. This path is open to anyone, regardless of their background, and it leads directly to spiritual freedom. Arjuna is reassured that he does not need to be a scholar or a yogi to reach the divine. All that is required is an open heart, sincere love, and a willingness to surrender. Krishna's words bring comfort and hope to Arjuna, who is struggling with self-doubt and confusion. By surrendering to Krishna with love, Arjuna can find the clarity and strength he needs to fulfill his duty on the battlefield. This teaching can be applied in real life as well. Many spiritual traditions emphasize devotion as the most direct path to enlightenment. For instance, in Christianity, the concept of unconditional love for God and neighbor is central to the spiritual journey. Similarly, in the Sufism tradition of Islam, love for God is the ultimate force that guides the soul toward union with the divine. The devotee's heart, qualities of a true bhakta. In this section, Krishna outlines the qualities that define a true devotee or bhakta. A true devotee is one who acts with humility, compassion, selflessness, and purity. Such a person is free from anger, greed, and selfishness and seeks only the well-being of others. A devotee does not harbor hatred or jealousy, but instead sees all beings as manifestations of the divine. Krishna explains, "A true devotee is one who is free from malice, who is forgiving, who does not envy others, who is not attached to worldly pleasures, and who treats everyone equally, regardless of their background or status." This is a powerful description of the qualities of a person who has truly embraced devotion. A devotee understands that the divine is present in all beings, and therefore, they treat everyone with respect, kindness, and love. By developing these qualities, a devotee not only grows spiritually, but also contributes to creating a more compassionate and harmonious world. Arjuna, though initially focused on his own personal dilemmas, is now called to rise above his emotions and attachments and cultivate these qualities of a true devotee. His spiritual journey is not just about fighting a physical battle. It is about overcoming his inner conflicts and becoming a vessel for divine love and wisdom. Krishna's assurance, divine grace, and protection. At this point in the teachings, Krishna reassures Arjuna that no matter what happens, as long as he surrenders to the divine with love and devotion, he will be protected and guided. Krishna promises that his divine grace will always be with Arjuna, and by acting from a place of love, Arjuna will fulfill his divine purpose. Krishna says, "Whoever sincerely surrenders to me, I will never forsake." No matter how sinful a person may be, if they come to me with a pure heart, I will forgive them and protect them from all suffering. This assurance is incredibly powerful because it removes all fear and doubt from Arjuna's heart. It is not about being perfect or flawless. It is about being genuine in one's devotion and trust in the divine. The divine grace is unconditional, and through this grace, all obstacles are removed and the path to spiritual liberation becomes clear. The universal form, Krishna's revelation of his divine form. To further strengthen Arjuna's faith and devotion, Krishna reveals his divine form to him. In a moment of immense spiritual power, Krishna shows Arjuna that he is not merely a charioteer or a teacher, but the supreme being, the eternal source of all creation, whose essence transcends time and space. Krishna reveals to Arjuna, "I am the eternal, imperishable source of all that exists. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all things. Everything in the universe is my manifestation." This revelation is transformative for Arjuna, as he realizes that his teacher, his guide, and his charioteer is none other than the divine itself. Krishna's form is both awe-inspiring and terrifying, as it encompasses the entire cosmos, with countless gods, warriors, and beings all contained within his form. This moment of divine revelation is a turning point for Arjuna. He now understands that his role in the battle is part of a much greater cosmic plan. By aligning himself with the divine will, he can fulfill his duty without fear or hesitation, knowing that Krishna is with him every step of the way. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.